In this point, I'm going to teach you how to use 些, specifically the word 一些. It means some, or in some cases a few. The word translation some works most of the time. And it's basically how you express a little bit of something, or a few of something. Here's an example. 我吃了一些苹果以后I meant to say 回家了. I actually missed the word 家 there. This actually works as a sentence. 回了, that's fine. 我吃了一些苹果以后回了. It means I went. So let's break it down. The whole sentence is I went back after eating a few apples, a few 苹果. There we go. 我吃了, I ate. 一些 is the phrase some 苹果. So this is actually a measure word. It's acting as a measure word here, but it's a measure word indicating a portion of something or a few of something. So if it's a countable noun, then it means more than one. If it's an uncountable noun, it means some chunk of that noun. And so here we have 苹果, it's apple, it's a countable noun. So 一些苹果 means some apples or a few apples. 我吃了一些苹果以后 remember means after. So after I ate a few apples, 回了 went back. 回 means to return, 了 makes it that a completed action. So there's one example. Here's another one. 他喝了一些茶. Now this is an uncountable noun. 他喝了, he drank. 他喝了一些茶, some tea. And then here's this example down here shows us that 一些 can be used as a part of the subject part of the sentence, not just the predicate part of the sentence. Here we have 一些人, some people. So that's again, it's a measure word saying 一些人, some people, 要来 will come. So 一些人要来, some people will come. And then I wanted to point out that 些 as a measure word, if it's connected to the words 这 and 那, so 这 or 这 means this, 那 or 那 means that. If I say 这些, that means these. It makes it plural. And so it's a really helpful, it's pretty cool, and it's a helpful thing to know. 这些. So if I want to say 这些人, these people, or 那些人, those people, or 这些苹果, these apples, 那些苹果, those apples. And so that's how you use 些. It's simple, but it's super helpful. Welcome to the last new point of HSK 1 grammar. I'm going to teach you the 是的 construction, or as I like to say, the shoulda construction, because it sounds like shoulda, coulda, woulda. This is a grammatical structure that has many different uses, but basically they all have something to do with clarifying something about something already known. So it's about clarification and about a matter. But today I'm going to teach you about one that specifically has to do with clarifying a detail about something that already happened. And so it's often used in questions, though not always. It's talking about emphasizing usually when something happened, where it happened, why it happened, how it happened, that kind of thing. Here are a few examples. These sentences necessarily are a little bit more complex than some of the sentences I've used, but we'll work through them slowly and you'll be able to see what we've got here. So this first sentence says, 我是坐公交车来的. Right, so it's 公交车 means public bus. 公交车. 我是坐 means to sit or take a bus. So 我是 I am 坐公交车 sit on the bus or take the bus. 来的 to come. So the da comes at the end and the 是 comes at some point in the sentence. Usually before a verb, but not always. 我是坐公交车来的. So this it means I took the bus to come. Now in English we can just say, even if we're clarifying, we can just say I took the bus to come. It's not any different from if nobody knew anything about the matter at all. But in this sentence, the person we're speaking to knows that I've come, but they don't know how I've come. So I'm clarifying how I have come. And so I changed the grammar. I used this structure in that case. The matter is known, but this detail about how it happened is not known. So I say, 是的，我是坐公交车来的. It's an emphasis thing. I am. It's actually, I think that the grammar, if you could think of it this way, although it doesn't always help, you could think of it this, 是的, de marks an adjective. There is I think there's an understood ren there, and it's a little bit similar to the English construction. I am one who took the bus to come here. 我是坐公交车来的人. Although that's never said, and it sounds way beyond, like it sounds way too, like we wouldn't say that in English. I am one who took the bus to come here. That's totally unnecessary. But that's how it's said. And this structure is used in Chinese for clarification. So there's one example. Here's 他是8点半到的. 8点半. Do you remember that? It's a time phrase. 8点半. 8 o'clock, half. So that's 8:30. 8 and half. 8点半. 他是8点半到. Dao means to arrive. So that means he arrived at 8 o'clock. So we know that he arrived. This is telling us when he arrived. 他是8点半到的. He didn't arrive at a different time. He arrived at 8:30. Here we have a clarification about where. 你是去哪里买衣服的? 你 you, sure, you are. 去哪里 means to go where, or it's a question. 你是去哪里买 buy, that means to buy something. 衣服 clothing, duh. So where did you go to buy clothing? That's the sentence. So the speaker knows that the listener had bought some clothing. He doesn't know where the person went. So he asked, 你是去哪里买衣服的? Okay, so that's the structure. That's how it works. And I have some notes about it. So when you're asking a clarifying question about a matter that you already know, you basically always use this structure. And yes, you have to. It's not optional. It doesn't work to not use this. I actually have a personal example of when I discovered this myself. I was in a small town in China. For those of you who might know, it's Shanxi Pinyin. It's a tourist attraction, an old center of town kind of thing. And I was meeting a person. I was with a friend who was introducing me to another friend. And I said to the other friend, who I didn't know, who had come back to his hometown for a short time, I asked him, I wanted to say, when did you arrive? When did you come? So I said, 你什么时候来? And he was confused. And I was confused about why he was confused. Why didn't he understand what I was saying? And it's because I didn't use this structure. If I say, 你什么时候来? It sounds like I'm talking about something that's going to happen right now or in the future. It doesn't have this, I'm asking a clarifying question about something that already happened thing. And so he was actually confused. And so it is actually necessary. And I'm pointing it out and stressing this because this structure is important and it's completely different from anything we would use in English. In English, we just say, when did you come? We don't have to change the structure from a normal grammatical sentence. It's exactly the same. But we add this 是的 structure when in Chinese. Okay, so another fact is that the 是 in the structure, so it's a 是的 structure, the 是 is actually optional. And so you can omit it. In most cases, you can omit it. And so it's this sentence, 我是坐公交车来的. I came by bus. I can say 我坐公交车来的. This sentence I can say 他8点半到的. In this sentence I can say 你去哪里买衣服的? And so the structure is the same. It's understood that it's there, but you can actually omit the 是 in most cases, but you can't when you negate it. For if I wanted to say I did not come at 8 o'clock, 8:30. I did not come at 8:30. I had to say no, it's he. He did not come. 他不是8点半到的. I can't say 他不8点半到的. I had to say the 不是. And then also here I want to point out another thing to know is that the placement of the 是 comes, if you have it in the sentence, the placement of the 是 goes right before the particular piece of information that is emphasized. And in these simpler sentences up here, there's only one kind of fact that's being emphasized or being talked about, and so the 是 is going to go right before that. But in this sentence, we have two kind of main ideas going on. It says 我是8点跟朋友吃饭的. So we have two pieces of information. 8点 means the time, that's 8 o'clock. 跟朋友吃饭的 with friends, ate with friends. So 跟朋友吃饭的 with 跟朋友吃饭 means to eat with friends eat in Chinese. So 我是8点跟朋友吃饭的. Now, if I take out the 是, I don't know whether 8点, 8 o'clock, is the emphasized detail, or whether with friends, eating with friends was the emphasized detail. So in this sentence, I put the 是 before the 8点 to emphasize that it was 8 o'clock. So I ate with my friends at 8 o'clock. I'm emphasizing 8 o'clock. 我是8点跟朋友吃饭的. So the listener knows that I ate with friends. The question is when. In this case, I say 我8点是跟朋友吃饭的. So the placement of the 是 is right before 跟朋友 to emphasize that I ate with friends at 8 o'clock. So the speaker, the listener knows that something happened. I ate at 8 o'clock, but I want to emphasize that it was with friends. And so I say 我8点是跟朋友吃饭的. And the 是 goes there. So in these kind of more complex sentences, it is a good idea to put the 是 there so we know which detail is being emphasized. So there you go. There's shoulda.